हमने फैसला किया है कि अब उनका रास्ता और हमारा रास्ता अलग हो, इसलिए आज जो है वो गठबंधन एक तरह से यानी जेडीयू से बाहर आ गया।
प्रधानमंत्री बनने के लिए 272 एमपी चाहिए, वो एनडीए से भी नहीं होता। बीजेपी ने आगे बढ़ चढ़ करके अगर कोई कदम उठाकर एक संकेत दिया है देश में, और लोग ऐसा समझते हैं कि कोई ऐसा हवा या आंधी या तूफान बह रहा है, तो मैं समझता हूं कि गलतफहमी के शिकार है। लेकिन खैर कोई गलतफहमी के शिकार रहे, समझने वाले समझ गए, ना समझे वो अनाड़ी।
Good evening. After 17 years, it's all over between Nitish Kumar and the BJP in an acrimonious end to a relationship that the BJP hoped that it could perhaps still salvage till the last moment. And yes, it was over Narendra Modi. In a 3-page statement, Nitish Kumar's party said that the recent developments within the BJP had been nothing short of ominous. The resolution passed by the Janata Dal United went on to say that an authoritarian cult had actually smothered all dissent within the BJP, and although Narendra Modi had not yet been named the prime ministerial candidate, his anointment to the chair of the poll panel was nothing short but a prelude to the same. Narendra Modi, the resolution said, did not meet the secular credentials that the Janata Dal United had hoped for as an ally and a member of the NDA. On the program today, over the next 60 minutes, we'll be asking what is the impact of Nitish Kumar's exit on national politics, what is its impact on the NDA, and also the larger question raised by Nitish Kumar, NDA, NaMo divides the alliance, who is it an advantage for? Let's introduce our guest tonight. We're joined by senior leader of the BJP and his deputy leader in the Rajya Sabha, Ravi Shankar Prasad. We're also being joined by Pavan Verma. He's of course formerly a bureaucrat and now an advisor to Nitish Kumar's government and with the Janata Dal United. And with me in the studio is somebody who knows the inside story sometimes before any of us know it, my colleague Rahul Srivastav. Ravi Shankar Prasad, I'd like to start with you. You would remember that not so long ago, you and me and another colleague of the Janata Dal United, NK Singh, we were at a function, NDTV function together, and I asked you, do you believe this alliance will last till 2014? And you actually said that this was, you know, something that the media loved asking, and you were very confident that the alliance would last. Has the BJP been caught by surprise, or did the BJP actually take a calculated risk in Goa when it anointed Narendra Modi, knowing fully well that you might lose one ally, but your mathematics told you you'd gain through Narendra Modi elsewhere? So in other words, you'd left Nitish Kumar with no choice.
Well, Barkha, let me respond to your query by a counter query. Hardly a month ago, and Rahul will confirm it, Nitish Kumar met Rajnath Singh and Shri Arun Jaitley, and there was an agreement that till December 2013, BJP was given the time to take a final call as to who shall be the Prime Minister in consultation with them. After declaration of Narendra Modi as the chief of the campaign committee, Mr. Sharad Yadav publicly declared hardly 5 days ago, it is the internal matter of the BJP. What happened in 4 days? Today, yes, I am very pained myself and I am distressed because in founding this bond in Bihar, I have myself played some role. Barkha, you will recall in the whole fodder scam movement, along with Nitish Kumar, Sushil Modi, I have played a significant role. And we laid the foundation for an alternative governance in Bihar to free Bihar from the misrule of Lalu Prasad. For 17 years we have worked together. Now what happened in 4 days' time? That the promise of 1 month ago was sought to be broken like this suddenly?
Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, what I can think of happening 4 days ago actually doesn't concern the Janata Dal United, it concerns the BJP. 4 days ago, we had ADVANI actually resigning from all party posts, and then within about 24 to 40 hours, being persuaded to change his mind. That is when, for the first time, I saw the strongest reaction from Nitish Kumar's party. It wasn't after the Goa decision, it was actually after Advani too threw his hat into the ring and basically declared that there was a problem with Narendra Modi. Could it be possible that Nitish Kumar's party took a cue from Advani?
Well, Advani ji is our topmost leader. We have great regard and his wish is a command for us. Surely we all persuaded him. whatever issues are there, Rajnath ji has promised to talk to him and find an answer. In fact, he has schooled all of us, including me, into the entire gamut of India's politics, and we are quite proud of that. But if Narendra Modi is the issue, Barkha, let me ask certain questions today, and that is very important, which you have rarely used because that is the provocation, as you say, and as their statement shows. In the year 2002, when the riot took place, unfortunate riot, Mr. Ramvilas Paswan resigned from Bajpayee government. Did Mr. Nitish Kumar resign? On the contrary, he went many times to Gujarat in big railway functions, where he extolled the virtues of Mr. Narendra Modi as a good chief minister. In 2002, in 2007, he openly lauded his electoral victory. I have got the public statement of his inside and outside the house.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you one more question that's indeed very important. That this whole card of communal secular divide, which is more an issue of convenience, then it's very important, Barkha, with you anchoring the program, your viewers need to know about it. In the year 1995, Mr. Nitish Kumar with George Fernandes came to Mumbai convention of the BJP Mahadhiveshan, when the quote-unquote Ram Janmabhoomi issue was at its peak. Were we communal or secular? In the year 2000, Samta Party got only 34 seats, BJP 67, JDU was separate, Ramvilas and Sharad Yadav. But we made Mr. Nitish Kumar the chief minister. We were communal or secular. In the year 2005, the entire BJP, Shri ADVANI ji, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, late Pramod Mahajan, Arun Jaitley, Sushma Swaraj, Sushil Modi and myself, we campaigned strongly that Mr. Nitish Kumar should be declared the leader. George Fernandes became so angry and late Digvijay Singh that for 3 days they became incommunicado. I hope Judge at least there on the program, she will confirm it. Were we secular or communal? In the year 89, Mr. VP Singh, no, it is very important.
Yeah.
In the year 89, VP Singh came to form the government at Ashoka Road, in which Mr. Nitish Kumar became the MOS in VP Singh government. We are secular or communal? In the year 1990, Lalu Prasad took our help for 1 year in Bihar in forming government. We are secular or communal? Therefore, come on, Barkha. These are bogies of convenience, been bandied about at times, and who knows, post 2014 May election, Narendra Modi may become a completely secular. But what pains me, Barkha, today, when there is complete peace in Gujarat, there is no riot, and Muslims are having the best governance and also development as the Sachar Committee report, and there is amity in the country, certainly this bogey is being raised.
Okay, you've raised a number of very interesting questions. Jaya Jaitley is indeed with us, the former president of the Samta Party. But first I must take this to Pavan, who's been listening patiently to the very important questions raised by Ravi Shankar Prasad. Pavan Verma, here's the point. Secularism, which is of course at the heart of India's diversity and pluralism and identity, it seems to have become a kind of political football, a kind of arithmetic calculation. And that's the point that the BJP is making right now, that if indeed Narendra Modi was the problem, and Nitish Kumar has never hidden that problem. I mean, I remember in the last election he was able to stop Narendra Modi from actually campaigning in Bihar. After that there was an incident when Narendra Modi poster surfaced, Nitish Kumar cancelled a dinner he was hosting for BJP leaders. So Nitish Kumar's reservations about Narendra Modi have always been known. What has changed now? Surely the BJP is entitled to appoint somebody the head of its own internal election committee. What has changed in the last 4 days for the Janata Dal United? Is this not an electoral / arithmetic calculation that indeed perhaps Muslim voters in Bihar could all gravitate towards the Lalu Paswan combine? Pavan Verma.
You know, Barkha, I think the time for beating around the bush is over. This country needs good governance, but good governance does not mean a frozen peace. It does not mean tolerance alone. It does not mean just a comfort zone for those who are of a different religion or ethnic background. This country needs good governance, and of that Nitish Kumar is perhaps one of the best symbols, having transformed Bihar. But this governance and inclusiveness are not opposed polarities. And it's a vision. Let's not get into political acrimony. This alliance has stood together for 17 years.
So why can't it stand now? What changed?
I'll tell you why. I'll come to that. Let me answer your question.
Okay.
there were a certain framework of understanding that kept it together. Increasingly, and there was no ambivalence in the signal incidentally, Mr. Nitish Kumar has consistently been pointing out that governance to be good need not polarize the nation. A leader may have opponents, but a leadership cannot divide the nation. And that therefore the attributes of leadership need to embrace the vibrant plurality of India, carry all people together, otherwise the communal strife that we want to escape from is likely to resurrect itself and actually jeopardize the governance project itself. He has conveyed it on umpteen occasions. The assessment, and political parties are allowed to make their assessment.
Yeah.
The assessment in the JDU and certainly in the case of Mr. Nitish Kumar was that the ascendancy of Mr. Narendra Modi to the helmsmanship of the BJP is a foregone conclusion, and there is no point waiting for the formalities to happen or for buying time merely because the inevitable was written on the wall. Therefore, the JDU, having found that the basic premises, the idea of India, the vision of India from their point of view was under threat, has decided to part ways, if possible amicably.
Okay.
For JDU to pursue its vision of India in the future, and for the BJP to pursue it in what the JDU believes will be a person like Narendra Modi.
Prasad, just briefly, Pavan. You have said that Nitish Kumar has never made any bones about his discomfort with Narendra Modi, and Ravi Shankar Prasad, one would have to accept that that is indeed true. You have had party presidents giving assurances, in fact, to Nitish Kumar in the past that that no decision had been taken on a prime ministerial candidate. You've had leaders like Sushma Swaraj make the argument that such decisions would be taken in consultation with allies. Subsequently, we have seen reports indicating that Rajnath Singh has made it clear that the BJP would first choose its own prime ministerial candidate and then consult its allies. And the prime ministerial candidate would be that of the BJP. What you're hearing the JDU today say is that the Goa decision made the ascendancy of Narendra Modi a mere formality, and that's what changed. What changed is the ascendancy of Modi.
Well, first of all, let me tell you one thing, this whole idea of India, after all, we have got many state governments where the idea of India is working, an idea of opportunity, equality, inclusiveness. Whether in Madhya Pradesh or where it is in Goa or where it is in Gujarat, so many Muslims, more than 200 have won on BJP seat in the council elections. Therefore, that idea of India, was it not there in the year 2002 when Nitish Kumar chose to share so many big platforms with Narendra Modi in Gujarat? Therefore, come on, let's not talk about that. Mr. Pavan Verma is a very good friend and a very distinguished author and diplomat, about whom I have the highest regard. But in view of his lateral entry, there has to be more schooling into the dynamics of politics. And I say so with full sense of responsibility. But what I am talking about here is Barkha completely different. My point is, when our president told him, when Advani ji told him, when Sushma Swaraj told him, and we himself conveyed that we'll wait till December, what changed suddenly? We have worked for 17 years together.
What do you think changed?
People have given it.
What do you think?
No, I can
ask you what you think changed. What do you think changed?
Barkha, I am myself surprised. I know Nitish ji too well from JP movement days. We have fought together in the JP. We have been in jail together. We have fought against the misrule of Indira Gandhi, and we have fought against the corruption and misrule of Lalu Prasad. Therefore, our bonding go long. I know Nitish ji quite well, and I have my regards for him. Okay. But I am myself surprised. I know his anti-Congress credentials are impeccable. And today, when there is peace in Gujarat, amity in India, and the country is yearning from a change against the misrule of UPA, Manmohan Singh and Sonia Gandhi, this sudden decisions is too baffling.
All right, that's very interesting.
I know,
that's very interesting that you say that the anti-Congress credentials of Nitish Kumar are impeccable, because what is very interesting is what will Nitish Kumar do next. And we actually came up with 3 options. If we can have that graphic come up, please. The 3 options before Nitish Kumar, before I take this to Jaya Jaitley and then to Rahul, the 3 options before Nitish Kumar are quite simply to remain on his own, and take the risk of a hit within Bihar for his electoral prospects, to nationally have some kind of tie-up with the Congress, but remember that he comes from a history of anti-Congressism, and the Congress is a party that he has opposed within Bihar. So how would that play out? And the third option that Ravi Shankar Prasad has hinted at, that you fight alone, separate from the BJP right now, but if the BJP is in a position to form the government in 2014, you return to the fold. So these seem to be the three options. Jai Jaitley, let me take this to you. You've, as somebody who's been with the Samta party in the past, had a close association with Nitish Kumar till it turned bitter. What do you make of everything that is happening today? You know, this debate can be argued in many different ways. It can be constructed as a debate about the idea of India. It can be constructed as a debate about secularism. But let's just construct it as a debate about politics. I think every political party at some point makes a calculation as to what is good for it. The BJP made that calculation in Goa. Nitish Kumar today has made that calculation in Patna. The cynics will call that arithmetic, but I think it's what every political party does, and surely political parties are entitled to do what's better for them.
That of course, and I've always said that it's the right of every party to try and get as many seats as it can.
Yeah.
And in a particular issue of whether the BJP, if it had Narendra Modi and who would be the Prime Minister and so on, I've answered the same thing, that let each one go into the field, get as many seats as they can, and then whichever is the largest number of seats, they will elect whom they want as Prime Minister. And I think it's really jumping the gun now, and a bit arrogant on the part of the JDU to demand from the BJP that they announce that Modi or anybody else won't be the Prime Minister. We don't seem to make any such demands of the Congress when everybody knows, and especially socialists know, that we do not support either dynasty and nor incompetent people coming in when there is only a family name and not any experience or ability that they have been able to show. So I also in fact feel that for the last many months Nitish ji has calculatedly taken many steps where it was clear that he was willing to play the game of the Congress, because at this moment the only beneficiary is going to be the UPA, which will wipe the sweat off their brow and be a little relieved and pretend that they're going to get on with this important governance that they have been doing or not doing all these years. The fact is that on the ground the country is completely fed up, and they were looking forward to good, strong leadership, good, strong governance, of which both Gujarat and Bihar and many other states were to be partners. There are many states today where you cannot make Narendra Modi the symbol of everything that is communal, because in Gujarat itself the Muslims have voted for him. It is not frozen peace, it's not peace of the graveyard. I think I know Gujarat and every village and every stone and every bit of earth there much more than Pavan Verma does. And to talk of the idea of India is not any one state or the other. It's everybody, and India is secular. In the heart of heart people are, and I think all this they're looking at as a game for personal maneuvering. And I don't think that we should also neglect the result that came recently in Bihar, where Lalu Prasad Yadav's party candidate won an overwhelming victory. I think Nitish
in the seat of Maharajganj,
the Muslim vote will go away. And if you can't call somebody else communal and then use secular language to be communal yourself, this is what I find unfortunate.
Let me take that back. Jai Jaitley, let me interrupt you there.
Hypocrisy, otherwise there is no idea of India.
Okay, we will take that back to Pavan Verma shortly. We've also got Sankarshan Thakur, roving editor of the Telegraph, joining us from Patna. But Rahul, if I can bring you in. The fact of the matter is that ideology is a malleable entity in Indian politics. So we can all cite instances where leaders who say one thing today have said another thing in the past. The BJP today is asking that question of Nitish Kumar, why were you silent for 17 years? But Nitish Kumar at some point may have made his own calculation. Nitish Kumar may have looked towards an eastern front that non-Congress, non-BJP parties have tried to form more than once. It is no coincidence that KC Tyagi of the Janata Dal United met with Mamata Banerjee. Nitish Kumar may have made the calculation that a resurgent Lalu Prasad Yadav and Ram Vilas Paswan fighting together could tap into a Muslim vote with the ascendancy of Narendra Modi. Do you believe Nitish Kumar had a choice? Do you believe he had any other option?
But given what has been happening between the JDU and the BJP, you see, they have lasted together for 17 years.
Which
in a times when marriages don't last months, 17 years of a political marriage is a really long time. So right now, they should have been actually more into a happy divorce mode. You see what the BJP has done.
There should have been mutual consent.
Mutual consent.
Yeah.
Definitely. Because you see what the BJP has done. BJP has done something what the JDU is calling a mere ceremonial prelude, that post of campaign manager. The BJP has signaled to its cadres that we are making Modi as the campaign manager, but actually the signal is that he is going to be the virtual face.
But Ravi Shankar Prasad said what changed in 4 days. And I said what changed in 4 days is actually 4 days ago was when ADVANI put out that statement.
Yes,
there.
BJP went in for maximization of his seats through Narendra Modi. The BJP should go back, in fact, and look at what happened in February 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th at the Kumbh, where a subtle move towards the Mandir was made and in which Modi name started cropping. The idea and the hint was that Modi may be the virtual face and there will be a silent parallel stream of Hindutva. That has worried Nitish Kumar. Also the fact that somewhere the JDU's move is not less to do with principles, it has got to do with simple politics. Nitish Kumar realizes that Narendra Modi as the virtual face of the BJP, a subtle Hindutva flowing, at that time it will be very difficult for him to retain the Muslim vote. And Muslim vote is critical. Why is it critical? Because he could actually beat Lalu Prasad Yadav at his game only because he took away certain Muslim votes away from Lalu Prasad Yadav. Mr. Nitish Kumar cannot allow Lalu Prasad Yadav to get that Muslim vote bank back and get a toehold into Bihar. His aim is first the Lok Sabha elections, and that's what he is aiming. And if you look at it, his political logic makes sense. Modi, the development mascot in Gujarat, in India, Nitish is trying his own development image. He may try to cut across caste lines and then retain his Muslim vote.
Let me take that,
not a bad deal.
Let me take that to Pawan Verma and then we'll get Sankarshan in. Pawan Verma, do you at least accept that this is not an ideological decision, it's a political one? And while nobody takes away the right of any political party to make a political decision, that is what it is. Because ideologically there have been many provocations in the past, if you will, for Nitish to make exactly the same decision.
You know, there is no contradiction necessarily, Barkha, between the two. There are certain positions parties take which are based on conviction and ideology and their vision for what is good for India. That may also happen to be good politics and take into account the political arithmetic of the situation. If you ask me, those preconditions or calculations can have unpredictable consequences. Nitish Kumar even today said, I believe that what I am doing is for the good of India and I do not care for the consequences. But let us take this further.
Yeah.
Suppose as a result of this decision, there is a greater sense of acceptance and participation in his program and vision by the minorities, which incidentally constitute a very sizable part of this country. They are part of the mainstream. So be it. But I don't believe, this is my personal, I am saying to you this is my personal based on my conversations with Mr. Nitish Kumar. I don't believe that this is based on some kind of cynical electoral arithmetic. He believes India needs good governance, he believes that governance must be inclusive, and Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, for whom again I have very great respect, mentioned that in other states ruled by the BJP, we have the example of Madhya Pradesh, where Mr. Shivraj Singh Chauhan has delivered well on very, very good governance parameters in a bigger state with perhaps a better track record of governance. He has not raised a voice. There are certain reasons when leaders involved with a certain past and history have on repeated occasions failed to express either anguish or remorse, or to show that in any case what has been done is wrong. It has been leading up to a certain assessment the party has taken.
Let me get Sankarshan in now. Sankarshan Thakur, the ironies of this entire last couple of weeks are actually so many that they're getting difficult to count. First, there was the irony of Goa, the same Goa where ADVANI once prevailed upon Atal Bihari Vajpayee to let Modi stay on as Chief Minister in 2002 was the same Goa where in 2013 Narendra Modi became officially the top boss of the BJP. The same ADVANI then became an antagonist, put out a press statement, he was persuaded to withdraw his resignations, but the thought that he had put out remained. And the same Nitish Kumar and Lalu Prasad Yadav who had once joined hands to stop ADVANI's Ayodhya movement, ADVANI's Rath from entering Bihar. Today you have Nitish Kumar's party making a resolution that actually refers to the age of the ADVANI-Vajpayee era in the BJP. So clearly, if you actually map history long enough, there are many ideological ironies, and what's going on here is just hard politics. The question is, who will benefit? Who is it advantageous for this move by Nitish Kumar today?
Barkha, I have a different opinion on this. I think what Nitish Kumar has done today is not necessarily incremental to him. I think he has taken on a huge challenge electorally and otherwise in doing what he has done. But I can understand why he has done what he has done, because the only option to him was, and Ravi Shankarji was saying what changed in 4 days. I think what changed in 4 days was that the scales within the BJP were suddenly tipped hugely in favor of Narendra Modi with what happened with LK Advani, who had clearly taken a position against Narendra Modi and his style of personality politics, and you will find similar references coincidentally in the statement that the Janata Dal, the divorce document that the Janata Dal has put out today, that it's a personality cult that has begun to dominate the BJP. And so the only option with Nitish Kumar was to have become ideologically subservient, not to the BJP, but what many in his party are now beginning to call the Bharatiya Modi party, and that was unacceptable. I mean, having sort of run a career for 40 or more years, Nitish Kumar at this stage has a certain image of himself, and he is entitled to have his own ambitions, his own vision of what he wants to do, where he wants to head. And I think there was a total mismatch, the contradictions were too sharp, and he took the plunge.
That's very interesting, and I want to take it to Ravi Shankar Prasad and to Jaya Jaitley, because what I'm hearing from both of you has been what suddenly changed. Were we sort of not communal in quotes for the last 17 years? And you have a theory there put forth by Sankarshan that actually this was not political, it was more ideological, and he was actually pushed to a corner by not just the sharp ascendancy of Narendra Modi at Goa, Ravi Shankar Prasad, but also by the fact that the BJP's own internal battles seem to suggest that even a veteran like Advani would be shafted when it came to Narendra Modi. So what hope would an ally like Nitish Kumar have? And also the similarity in the central point raised by LK Advani's letter and the JDU resolution, which is of personality cults. Mr. Advani's letter said personality has become bigger than issues, and today the Janata Dal United resolution is saying exactly the same. Now, yes, I know that Mr. Advani has taken back his resignations, but the thought and the argument he put out there, Ravi Shankar Prasad, obviously the allies are also taking a cue. Obviously they are watching the hierarchy of the BJP be turned upside down.
Well, first of all, what is the primary issue of contemporary India today? Against the misrule of UPA led by Sonia Gandhi and Manmohan Singh, a quest for good governance. And all the NDA ruled states, particularly the BJP states, have given a good account of themselves in terms of good governance. And Narendra Modi is a vibrant symbol of that, is spoken everywhere. NDA, JDU government has done very well in Bihar, as has Shivraj Singh Chauhan. Therefore, good governance is a part of our real focus on politics. But I will again come to that issue again, Barkha. Was the personality of Narendra Modi not relevant in spite of riot being very fresh in 2002?
But he didn't have top billing.
Why?
He was not recognized by the party as a veteran like Advani, who built the party, was not snubbed and humiliated to give Modi that top billing.
And at that time, Atal Bihari Vajpayee was around.
And Mr. Vajpayee was around, as Rahul says, as a counterbalance.
Barkha, please
Yes.
allow me to. How was Advani ji painted by Sharad Yadav and his ilk in the early 90s?
No, that's
I
fair.
need to refer to all
That's
these
fair.
statements.
That's an ironic. That's an irony there. Yes.
But Barkha, please allow me.
Yeah.
Do I need to recall all their public statements against Mr. Advani in the year 90, in the year 91? Therefore, Barkha, these are arguments of conveniences. Mr. Narendra Modi is indeed very popular, undoubtedly, but he has not adjudged as the PM's candidate. Therefore, I again revert to my view, what changed in 4 days? Yes, I agree with Rahul and partly with Shankarshan Thakur that in politics you are entitled to take a position. But your positioning cannot be divorced from the context in which you operate and the context of the mandate given by the people of Bihar. Repeated, conclusive. BJP supporters giving bulk vote to JDU, their supporters giving bulk vote to us. And yes, Shankarshan has a point. A calculated risk has been taken by Nitish Kumar, and I am quite sure, I know my state quite well. In the hustings for Lok Sabha election, the people of Bihar will give a very fitting response.
But then, Ravi Shankar Prasad, you're contradicting your own argument, because then you're confirming Sankarshan's argument that Nitish has taken an ideological position, not a mathematical one.
You see, the point is, why ideological position only in the June of 2013, Barkha? The relevance of that ideological position has simmered with greater ferocity from 1990 onwards. Lalu Prasad has been challenging him day in and day out. What changed now? Therefore, I am sorry to say that he is entitled to take his position. And we have been friends for so long, we will remain friends. And Barkha, today I would like to say, because you mentioned that, for the first time I am mentioning my TV interviews today, we suffered so much of humiliation in 2010. When BJP does its national executive meeting, even Congress chief ministers give us for tea or lunch. It is basic courtesy. Even you take aid in case of disaster, even from a person who are so opposed. Now the money sent from Gujarat, sent in the wake of Koshi floods, but we suffered all those humiliation. Why? Because the governance record of Bihar was important and the respecting the mandate of the people of Bihar was important. Therefore, we have been repeatedly saying, you must have seen my statement, we want the alliance to continue. In coalition politics, Barkha, you know it very well, hiccups do come. And it is important for the dynamics of coalition politics to resolve it. And I am quite sure even the PM issue could have been properly resolved in consultation. We have been consulting, we have been talking. But the way the decision has been taken, I can only say, in somewhere, the mandate of the people of Bihar has been completely ignored with impunity.
Let me just briefly go to Sankarshan and then to Jaya Jetli. Sankarshan Thakur, when you say that actually Nitish Kumar has taken a very risky decision and it's actually an ideological self-image in a sense that's played out, how much of it has actually taken its cue from what happened to Advani within the BJP? And the reason I ask this is because the JDU statements after the Goa decision were much more tempered than they were after Advani's letter. Why do you think that is?
I think because they got a much clearer sense of the drift in the BJP. I think they were banking on leaders like Advani to still have influence within the party, the kind of influence that would keep Mr. Narendra Modi fast-tracking himself to the center stage. And I know this argument is made about Nitish and Sharad Yadav opposing Advani in the 1990s. The point also is that the center of politics is shifting all the time, and the BJP's politics now have been taken to a certain point where they were not 6 months or a year ago. The Advani of 1990s is not the Advani of today. He's made
but then somebody might say that the Modi of 2002, hang on, because somebody is going to turn around and say the Modi of 2002 is not the Modi of 2013.
Fair enough. Let them support and make an effective argument that the Modi of 2002 is not the Modi of 2013. He still refuses to wear that cap on stage. He still refuses to express any regret of things happening under his watch. Much less, no court has sort of indicted him, but things, horrible things happened under his watch.
Okay, Ravi is going to come in there and then Rahul. Sankarshan, wait. Tough
to make that argument, Barkha.
Ravi Shankar Prasad, a very important argument being made there about politics being seen to shift to the right under Modi, and that Advani actually has tried to moderate himself. He's seen to have an antagonistic relationship with the RSS. He was made to step down as party president for his praise of Muhammad Ali Jinnah. That the Advani of today is not the man who rode the Rath.
Well, Advani ji, I know him more than you, Barkha. He remains a top BJP leader, firmly wedded to the idea of India, firmly wedded to India's nationalism, and firmly wedded to justice to all, appeasement of none, and what BJP stands for. But let me respond to my very good friend Shankarshan's comments one thing. Certainly it is Modi in 2013, not 2002. But this whole idea of apology of wearing the cap, Let me give an analogy. Supreme Court monitored 5 investigations, repeatedly also were changed. Now conviction is there, including of some political leaders in Gujarat. Others will follow. Dr. Manmohan Singh apologized in the Raj Sabha in my presence on 84 riots. And the entire government went out to bail Sajjan Kumar, the CBI and the prosecution both. You know it, Barkha. So this is hypocrisy, that you give a mirage or veneer of apology and do everything to bail out the accused in one of the worst massacre, Sikh massacre riots. Therefore, let us not go on tokenism. The point, what is the benchmark? The Muslims of Gujarat today are happy or not? They are supporting BJP or not?
Ravi Shankar Prasad, do you at least accept that Narendra Modi is simultaneously your most popular leader and your most divisive leader? Do you accept the paradox of Narendra Modi?
Well, Barkha, let me tell you very clearly. I have a deep concern that Mr. Modi has two views. He has two persona. Outstanding governance, effective leader, firm decision making, impeccable integrity, good delivery. Therefore, he is topping all the charts in the wake of the whole mal-governance of UPA. But there is another view. And that view is, some of the friends, his critiques, including in the media, have taken a position in 2002 and they haven't changed it till now. That continues, but that number is changing.
But your allies have also not changed that position. Your allies, it's not just the media, your allies, you have a problem. Today one of your leaders has said that let 10 alliances break, but we will not reverse our position on Modi. You're in an age of coalition politics. Do you accept Nitish Kumar's argument that you need to cross 225 at least for allies not to matter?
Barkha, let me reply your query with a historical anecdote. If BJP was 2, as it was in 84, would you ever call me on your TV show? Will you consider BJP as an important party?
And it was ADVANI who took it to 85 in the next election. The same ADVANI whom nobody wants to listen to today.
Yes, Barkha. Therefore, in politics, your political worth is equally important. When we became 180 in the year 1998 and 181 thereafter, we came 26 allies. And in order that the BJP becomes the glue of an alternative polity in India post 2014 election, which I am sure it will become, BJP has to cross 180. Okay. 185. If we are only confined to 100 or 120, I don't think allies will come to us. Therefore, I revert to main issue. Nitish Kumar ji, Sharad Yadav ji have been our colleagues in all the coalition ups and downs for 17 years. They know it all. Yet, what changed in 4 days' time? I am sure the people of Bihar will give a fitting response.
Let's try and answer this question. What changed in 4 days' time? Rahul, what changed? And then I'll take it to Pawan. I know you have a point.
A lot has been changing. Yeah. See, let's cut back to 2000, sometime in 1999. There was one Atal Bihari Vajpayee. The RSS was still the ideological master. He takes a bus down to Lahore, changes whatever RSS stood for vis-a-vis Pakistan. RSS stood for Swadeshi, and he reformed, he disinvested. He went ahead with a liberalization process which perhaps even Manmohan Singh hadn't done in 1991. Then comes a time when LK Advani decides that he is going to change his image. He goes to Karachi and then he makes that famous Jinnah statement, and what happens? The RSS forces him to step down. Since then, the RSS has realized that such leadership is a crisis. And from there on, there has been.
But Mr. Modi is not someone they're going to find easy to control.
It's not. But right now, the RSS has no choice. And also, remember, he's the first Prasharak who is going to become the prime ministerial face and could well become prime minister. So Modi is slightly different. The key issue right now is that the RSS has taken control. Nitin Gadkari's second term possibility. Nitin Gadkari being pushed out by LK Advani, another set of problems between RSS and Advani. Rajnath Singh brought in by the RSS, Modi brought in by the RSS, RSS saying Advani or no Advani,
that was a Suresh Soni statement
that
Mr. Advani objected
that Advani has been fanning this Modi fault line for a long time. When he wanted to start his yatra, when Narendra Modi did not let him start it from Gujarat, he went and took it to Bihar, to Nitish Kumar, and asked Nitish Kumar to actually flag off his rally. Advani has been at it, the RSS has been at it. When Modi actually came to the scene on the 9th of June, at that time a lot already has been accumulated as far as gunpowder is concerned.
Very interesting reminding us of that start of that Advani Yatra from Bihar. Pawan Verma, how does history change? Sankarshan says the Advani of the 90s is not the Advani of 2013. There are a number of Modi supporters who would make the same argument about him.
You know, just to first respond to one or two comments which I have been listening quite patiently. You know, Barka, to express and even more importantly to feel a genuine sense of anguish of what happened in 2002 in Gujarat is not tokenism. It's an exceptionally important message to the India we have, which is the reality we have to understand. It is not tokenism. Mr. Prasad said that in a coalition hiccups take place. But Barka, the trend has been very clear. This is not a hiccup, it's a convulsion. I'm sure Mr. Prasad will agree with me that the kind of comments Mr. Advani made, they were not motivated by personal ambition. I'm sure he would agree with me, a leader of the stature of Mr. Advani. They were made because there was first and foremost a convulsion within the BJP itself.
Mr. Prasad, are you keeping a diplomatic silence there, or do you agree with this?
I'm waiting for you to respond.
No, I will let you respond. Pawan, yes, go ahead.
No. So I am saying that these are important things. Thirdly, the third point, what happened in 4 days? What happened in 4 days? I don't believe it's a sudden development in 4 days. Mr. Nitish Kumar, in his most important public speeches and that interview he gave many months ago to Economic Times, had tried to spell out with as much clarity and emphasis as he could command at that time to state what he considered to be the kind of attributes which India needs, which is certainly governance, but governance plus, not governance at any cost. This country needs an alternative, but it has the right to examine what kind of alternative, in order that it is good for India in its entirety. So this is not a new development.
Okay.
This is something that has been coming out for some time. It has come to the fore, Barka, because it is the reading of Mr. Kumar that the rise of Mr. Modi is inevitable.
Pavan, 1 minute. Jaya Jaitley has been waiting for very long to get a say in. Jaya Jaitley, I want you to pick up on this cult of personality that we are hearing again and again. LK Advani mentions it, Nitish Kumar's resolution mentions it. The critics of the Congress have often said that the Congress is defined by the cult of one family, by the Gandhis. Is the BJP in danger also of being defined by one person, Narendra Modi?
I don't think Narendra Modi defines the BJP. I think he comes from a background which has defined him, and that background, whether it's acceptable or not to India, is something that people of Gujarat at least have shown it is acceptable, and it's to be seen now how many other people accept it. But I want to get past all these old recriminations, because if somebody talks like you have said about something happening on Modi's watch, then 1984 happened in Rajiv Gandhi's watch, and apologies of the kind that Dr. Manmohan Singh makes make no sense at all, because as Ravi Shankar Prasad said, they have done everything to protect the perpetrators of those riots. Modi, everyone says that he refuses to accept that any anguish. He has many times expressed anguish. Shahid Siddiqui was sacked from his job and party or whatever because he actually interviewed Modi and let Modi express that anguish. Now, wearing a skull cap, socialists should never make wearing of anything, wearing of saffron robes or wearing skull caps or wearing a turban or anything, symbolic things in politics. These are very cheap and superficial kinds of things that anyone is expected to do. And I think Modi or people like him and even George Fernandez would never have ever done such a thing, because they have the courage to stand up and say, we are normal and we don't need these symbols to define us.
Okay.
So let's forget all that. What I'm feeling very sorry today, as being a person who worked very, very hard to build the NDA, and far more than Pavan Verma, I have very, very intimate knowledge of each and every person from 95 till now. And I will say that what Atal Bihari Vajpayee and Advani ji, Jaswant Singh, Murasoli Maran, George Fernandez could do in those days was to bring people together. They never played these dirty politics of symbols and messages and perceptions and heightening people's negative perceptions. They always tried to bring people together and smooth over and try to understand difficulties. And
But that's a
why
very
we formed the
interesting point.
NDA.
Jaya
It
Jetli,
was formed with various understanding. Why did they not this time? Nitish Kumar is now wearing the mantle that George Fernandez wore, or at least he would like to. Sharad Yadav as well. Why could they not have get together with their leadership, with Advani with Modi? Even the BJP has a role in all this, to have acted with far more maturity and with showing the country that we can overcome our differences, to work together to be a good opposition and then to be a good
That's a
party
very
in
important
government.
question that you raise. And Ravi Shankar Prasad, is that a problem that you had consensus builders in the earlier avatar of the NDA, and actually right now your own party is so beset by a not so invisible camp warfare and there's one person looming large over it and there is no consensus builder? There is no consensus builder in today's NDA. Who is that consensus builder? Who is that NDA leader who can bring the different factions together?
Well, after all, 17 years of relationship has survived so long, in spite of all the hiccups, for certain understanding. Mr. Pawan Verma has been provoking me to say something about Mr. Advani. He is referring to that. He is our top leader. Certain issues have been raised. Rajnath ji will respond to that. But Barkha, one of the basic tenets of our working together is not to intervene beyond a point in the internal affairs of each of the parties, and not to put a gun on the temple like a veto, you do this or I go back. Since Pawan Verma is new to his party, I am constrained to comment. What was the treatment given to George Fernandez by his erstwhile colleague in the JDU and Samta? Was he not marginalized? Did we raise that an issue at all? We never that. Though we are pained, I know how George Fernandez led the entire Samta movement from 95. I know it personally. Therefore, Pawan Verma needs to know these facts. We have never interfered. Is Mr. Sharad Yadav completely happy today? He too is marginalized. I know it for sure. But we never raised those issues because we respect the institutional integrity of our allies. It is their job to settle it.
Okay.
But in question of an alliance, and then please let me complete, it's very important. I was never, for the first time I am speaking, because Pawan Verma, a new lateral entrant, has provoked me to refer to history. Therefore, Advani ji is our top leader. We will take care of that. There's a dynamic party. And Narendra Modi's record of governance in 2013 is spoken world over, including inclusive society. Everyone, from farmer to minorities to backwards, to anyone you talk about, even other state governments. Therefore, we had a big bridge to build upon for future, which the country was eagerly awaiting for a change. I know the country will vote us, but maybe today's incident and development has been very painful.
Okay, I want you all in your last comment before we go to a break to actually talk about what will happen next. We've looked back at history a lot. What's going to happen ahead? Is this a really big risk that Nitish Kumar has taken, or is this also a warning to the BJP that it's not going to be so easy to keep allies together? Rahul, let's bring you in. There's been a lot of talk of this Eastern Front. When you look at Mamata Banerjee, Naveen Patnaik and Nitish Kumar, they actually at the moment have more than 50 seats just between them. When you start actually breaking down the states where there is a sizable Muslim population headed by regional parties who may find it very difficult to go to the BJP unless, as Ravi Shankar Prasad said, there is a certain critical mass. The BJP too has taken, I would say, a big risk, just as Nitish has.
Yes, this is exactly what L.K. Advani, the respected leader of Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, has been telling the party right since the Suraj Kund conclave, in which he told the party that the Congress is slipping, but the BJP's rise is not commensurate. We need to get Muslims on our sides. We need to do something that people don't feel marginalized away from the BJP. And it is exactly this JDU breakup argument that Mr. Advani has voiced over the last 1 month within the party for us several times. He has tried to use it as a virtual veto against Narendra Modi. But the fact is that he has warned that this is likely to happen.
Do you believe that the exit of Nitish Kumar will strengthen the anti-Modi faction within the BJP, which is lying extremely low right now?
But I think this veto, this JDU factor was perhaps one bullet. I think it has already got fired. I don't think that
there are many more left.
I think I think it has weakened certain people who were using it as a veto, because now the BJP is over with it. It has been done. I think it weakens that faction, because eventually where do they go get their support from? There is one less ally to talk to, because if you look at the Akali Dal and the Shiv Sena, eventually they may not have as much problem with Narendra Modi as the JDU
No,
has.
their statements don't reflect that problem at all.
That is why perhaps, yes, certainly the BJP has lost a huge state. Remember, out of 40 seats, they had got 32. If there was a wave against the Congress and the Lalus and others, they could have done better. So they have lost a state even before Modi has started actually attending the first meeting of the campaign committee.
All right, quick last comments from Pawan Verma and Ravi Shankar Prasad. Pawan Verma, what happens next? I mean, there's an inherent electoral risk that Nitish Kumar has taken here. If the JDU remains alone, if Lalu, Paswan and the Congress combine, that risk becomes even deeper. Do you foresee a scenario where Nitish probably returns to the BJP post-poll?
I don't believe we need to speculate on this. Mr. Nitish Kumar has said with utmost clarity that he has taken a decision and he is willing to face the consequences. And Barkha, may I add, since Ravi Shankar Prasad ji has mentioned it more than once, I'm glad I'm new to politics and I'm not a dyed-in-the-wool politician. I still carry the innocence of 19 best-selling books on different
Pawan, that's what I said.
Including a very, very favorite translation of Atal Bihari Vajpayee, where, by contrast, if I may say, he wrote one of the most moving poems on how you need to carry all of India together. I think that's the project for India in the future, along with good governance.
Here's the question, Ravi Shankar Prasad. You need, I remember Venkaiah Naidu famously used to say that ADVANI ji was the low Purush and Vajpayee was the Vikas Purush. And now you have Narendra Modi trying to be both. Every yin needs a yang. Does Narendra Modi need a Vajpayee?
Well, Barkha, I can only tell you that the BJP is a political party with a large reservoir of good leaders who can be comrade in arms, have been comrade in arms, and surely people of India will trust us. Therefore, we are hopeful of doing very well, including in Bihar. I understand the concerns of Rahul. But let me say one thing, Barkha. And what I say, we have worked for 17 years together, through ups and downs, through trials and tribulations. Today we have separated, maybe divorced. But let us try to maintain the civility of it. Who knows, zindagi ke kis mode par phir hum mil jaye.
Ah, that says everything about politics.
वो अफसाना जिसे अंजाम तक लाना न हो मुमकिन, उसे एक खूबसूरत मोड़ देकर भूलना अच्छा.
छोड़ना बेहतर.
We leave it there because for once it's been very civilized, but it's actually it's Sarkashan. Sorry, what are you saying?
It's a very खूबसूरत मोड़.
A very खूबसूरत मोड़, which is so rare.
It's not a very खूबसूरत मोड़. It's a very acerbic मोड़.
That's what I said, that it's pretending to be civilized.
Let's avoid political acrimony.
I'm saying that the lovely thing about poetry, is that it pretends to be civilized, but it actually says a lot. It just actually adds some sugar to it sugarcoats the poison and the barb. We leave it there. We're taking a quick break. We're staying with our special coverage. It's a big political story today. Nitish Kumar has walked out of the NDA after 17 years. What will be its impact on national politics? Our special coverage continues after a short break.
हमने फैसला किया है कि अब उनका रास्ता और हमारा रास्ता अलग हो, इसलिए आज जो है वो गठबंधन एक तरह से यानी जेडीयू से बाहर आ गया।
प्रधानमंत्री बनने के लिए 272 एमपी चाहिए, वो एनडीए से भी नहीं होता। बीजेपी ने आगे बढ़ चढ़ करके अगर कोई कदम उठाकर एक संकेत दिया है देश में, और लोग ऐसा समझते हैं कि कोई ऐसा हवा या आंधी या तूफान बह रहा है, तो मैं समझता हूं कि गलतफहमी के शिकार है। लेकिन खैर कोई गलतफहमी के शिकार रहे, समझने वाले समझ गए, ना समझे वो अनाड़ी।
Good evening, it's 9 p.m. and the political tremors have taken control of the NDA yet again. It seems to be a Sunday ritual these days, and this time it's the exit of Nitish Kumar after 17 years from the NDA, the National Democratic Alliance, which is now facing a new challenge. The NDA could also stand for a new challenge in its most popular, yet some would say its most polarizing politician, Narendra Modi. Is Narendra Modi dividing the alliance? Is that what the NDA is grappling with today? That's the question we'll be asking on this special broadcast, as in a scathing statement, Nitish Kumar's party passes a resolution calling the recent developments within the BJP as ominous, is talking about an authoritarian personality cult and the anointment of Narendra Modi to the head of the chiefest poll panel of the BJP being nothing short of a prelude to his becoming the prime ministerial candidate. So is Narendra Modi becoming an election issue in itself, and what impact will the exit of Nitish Kumar have not just on national politics but also on the NDA's own internal politics? Let's introduce our panel tonight. We're joined by NK Singh, senior leader of the Janata Dal United, joining us live from Patna tonight. With us in the studio is Nirmala Sitharaman, senior leader of the BJP. Joining us from Bhubaneswar tonight, as the role of regional parties becomes more important than ever before, is Panda, who is of course a member of parliament with the Biju Janata Dal. And with us also tonight is Sanjay Jha, spokesperson of the Congress party. From Patna tonight, we're still with Sankarshan Thakur, roving editor of the Telegraph, and with me in the studio, my colleague Rahul Srivastav. NK Singh, let me start with you. The BJP has expressed a sense of betrayal. The BJP wants to know what's changed in 4 days. The BJP wants to know why the Janata Dal United statements were much more moderate after the Goa decision and actually much more sharp after ADVANI's letter that actually raised a question mark, without saying so in so many words, over Narendra Modi. Was it Mr. Advani's literally rebellion more than the decision at Goa that provided the cue to Nitish Kumar? What changed suddenly?
Well, I think that, if you, Barkha, read the statement which has been issued at the press conference today, we have said that that particular paragraph, if you read that, begins that the recent developments in the coming days has filled us with dismay and disappointment. So whatever words the BJP may have used, we have said ourselves that it has filled up with dismay and disappointment for several reasons which you have outlined. I think it was clear to us, increasingly evident to us, that it was a prelude to the coronation of Mr. Narendra Modi as a prime ministerial candidate. There have been other people who were in the past by the BJP appointed as campaign managers or the chairman of the campaign committee. Recall Mr. Arun Jaitley was one. Yeah. Recall Mr. Pramod Mahajan was one. But the appending circumstances and the nature of the announcement was not the nature of what looked like to be a ceremonial prelude to the coronation of Mr. Nitish Kumar. We had in our political resolution
of Mr. Narendra Modi,
which was adopted.
Of Mr. Narendra Modi and not of Nitish Kumar, and some might say that's a Freudian slip.
Yes, of Narendra Modi, not a Freudian slip. So I mean, we have also mentioned that in the political resolution of the 14th of April by the Executive Council of the Janata Dal United, we had clearly articulated what we believed would be the broad principles for the continuation of this alliance. We had given some time for the BJP to ponder over those, but regrettably, some of the developments which took place subsequent to that, which culminated in the Goa episode, which also resulted really in the marginalization of any voice of dissent or moderation within the BJP, which has been mentioned also in the statement, suggested to us that the deed was done. Yeah. We must call a spade, and it was time to act.
Nirmala Sitharaman, to be fair, Nitish Kumar's discomfort with Narendra Modi has never been much of a secret. In the last election, Nitish Kumar was able to actually stop Narendra Modi from campaigning in Bihar. He has since then refused to share a stage. The one time that he did share a stage in Ludhiana, when those pictures were released, Nitish Kumar was extremely upset. When posters of Narendra Modi surfaced in Bihar, he cancelled a dinner that was meant to be held for BJP leaders. So should the BJP really be expressing surprise? Because the truth is that both of you both parties, has made a calculated decision. You have made one with all the risks intact in Goa. Nitish Kumar has made one with all the risks intact in Patna. Why should the BJP today speak in terms of betrayal? Did you really leave Nitish Kumar with any other option, given his very public misgivings about Narendra Modi?
There are several answers to this, each pertinent to the points that you've raised. His dislike for Modi seems to be, in the last 3-4 years, quite hyped.
Hyped by whom?
Hyped by all of us. He hates him, he thinks that he's not a true secular person, he's this, he's that. But contrary to all this, there are several, and luckily I do not know how I thought of it. I've just got you one speech here, which I'll leave you a copy with. 2003, he went to Gujarat and praised Modi in the speech that it's not, I mean, these are records, and not in such, formal words. I can read the whole speech, but one line which is very, very important is, I'm reading it in Hindi, so my pronunciation may not be appropriate. मुझे पूरे उम्मीद है बहुत दिन गुजरात के दायरे में रमटकर नरेंद्र भाई नहीं रहेंगे, देश को उनकी सेवा मिलेगी. This is not a line which any leader says of anybody else. And the speech goes further, and he concludes it saying, you've been doing excellent work in Gujarat, you're exemplary, and that kind of a development which is happening in Gujarat is necessary for the country, and that kind of a development is necessary even for the country. That is the summary of this speech. I'll give it to you, December 2013. This is one example of several such speeches.
So he's made a political decision today, not an ideological one, is what you're saying.
No, first thing. Here, there is a clear split personality which I say. I'm not commenting on an individual personal level, but these are important when you're a particular leader of a political, organization. You don't speak one thing and later on almost speak the opposite when the circumstances have not changed. This was said in 2003. Till today, after this, there has not been anything in terms of communal violence or riot or anything for him to have to suddenly think, oh, he's gone back to some kind of a image. So that's one point. The second point is, subsequent to all this, you have remained with us, congratulated Modi on every one of his victories, even the latest 2012. So it's not as if you suddenly saw a Modi of a different kind. I'm sorry, there's something more to this.
And what I would want. Okay, what do you think? What do you want Nitish to speak?
I'll come to that. Third, more important, it is a mandate with a pre-election, arrangement. The coalition was formed before the election. It's not as if it is post-election convenient arrangement. Our party elected Sushil Modi. Janata Dal United elected Nitish Kumar. Both together, when NDA sat together, gave the opportunity for Nitish to be the chief minister. So technically today, if you really are all that morally upright and you want to speak about, Modi who is not acceptable to the world, you should have resigned first of all.
Okay,
because this election of the chief minister was also with a joint two parties decision.
Okay, please, can I take that back to NK Singh and then Sankarshan Thakur will bring you in. NK Singh, the point being made again and again by the BJP is that there's an element of hypocrisy to the timing. That you can come out and say that every political party is entitled to take a political decision, that parties are allowed to change their mind and so on and so forth, but there are enough instances in history, and she cited some of them, that suggests that Nitish Kumar did not really take that pure and ideological position when he could have, or some would say he should have. What would you say to that?
Well, I would say something which you yourself have said, that in a certain technical sense of the term, political parties take decisions of what is really at that particular moment they perceive to be politically correct. They cannot always be held a hostage to the past, and it should not be forgotten that at that particular point in time, the leadership of the NDA was with Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee, whose secular credentials no one has ever doubted. Regarding the particular point on giving congratulatory messages to Mr. Narendra Modi several times by Nitish Kumar, let me say that some of these things are ceremonial acts really. When one chief minister congratulates the other, it is a part of an accepted courtesy of relationship and should not be taken to be really the abiding view or an analysis of what he or she considers to be. I'm surprised that somebody as moderate and someone for whom I have genuine respect and considerable affection, has used the word split personality for Mr. Nitish Kumar. I could have used stronger language in relation
you
to...
You have used very strong language. You have. Let me read it out to you.
The perpetuation of an authoritarian cult,
yes,
really.
Exactly.
I mean, I would really, if you ask me, so I was quite surprised, frankly, when someone like Nirmala has used that particular harsh expression.
Okay, we'll take that to Nirmala in just a minute. Sankarshan, when you hear the BJP and the Janata Dal United today deconstruct the reasons for why they've split, is it relevant to what's going to happen politically? Because there are two ways of looking at it. One, that both have played their political hands, the story is kind of over, the bullet, the arrow has been shot, the bullet has been fired. Or is there a larger message for coalition politics, that when NK Singh refers to Vajpayee, that's the one deficiency the BJP has today, it does not have a consensus builder, not an immediately respectable, identifiable one around whom different people can rally around.
Okay, my sense is that, there has been all these years, or a fair number of years, that the JDU-BJP coalition was in power in Bihar. I think it ran under an unstated but very publicly visible and understood set of parameters. And essential and key and core to that parameter was that Mr. Narendra Modi would have no part in politicking or politics in Bihar. And we saw that happening over the last 8 or 10 years. Narendra Modi never stepped in to campaign. Both parties never admitted it formally, but the fact was he was not welcome here. He did not come here. The Bihar BJP oftentimes took a position that was, you could say, opposed to Mr. Modi. For instance, when Nitish, reacted with great anger and almost huffed out of this alliance in June of 2010 over the publication of newspaper advertisements in Patna, because of which he withdrew that dinner.
Yeah.
At that time, I remember very clearly that the BJP leadership in Bihar took a position with its central leadership that this should not have happened, that we need certain things not to happen in Bihar in the interest of running this coalition smoothly, and they prevailed. I think increasingly the sense in the JDU and the sense of Mr. Nitish Kumar is that it has become unavoidable now to keep Mr. Narendra Modi out, because he is in a position, or he has come into a position in the Bharatiya Janata Party where he is absolutely dictating terms, and will have it no other way. So I think the rules of the game have changed, and therefore you see a changed situation and a broken alliance.
Let me just get Jai Panda in before I go back to the BJP and the JDU. Jai Panda, why I bring you in at this point is also to talk a little bit about, what happens in the absence of a consensus builder to those who have to create alliances. This applies as much to the UPA as it does to the NDA. And I ask you this because you have formerly been with the BJP, you've broken ranks with them in the past. There is great talk of an eastern bloc of Naveen Patnaik, Nitish Kumar, Mamta Banerjee. The Janata Dal United even met with Mamta Banerjee. Naveen Patnaik was in Delhi talking of a third front, yet the third front has never taken off without the support of one of the two national parties, and that's, historically it has needed in the past the Congress or the BJP to prop it up. So what is the larger national ramification of Nitish Kumar now being a solo operator, at least for the time being?
Well, Barkha, the BJD is now into its 5th year of taking an independent stand after we ended our alliance with the BJP. And so I think circumstances right now may be different, and also may be different in Bihar, so I can't comment on Bihar. But the sort of same wavelength on which you hear many chief ministers speaking, whether it is Nitish Kumar in Bihar or Mamta ji in Bengal and Naveen Patnaik in Odisha, is because I think we can empathize with each other. These are states that have traditional grouses about neglect by the center, and in recent times we have seen political discrimination in the apportioning of, for example, relief funds after natural disasters, in the apportioning of special funds for development and things like that. So we can certainly empathize with each other, but as far as the bloc is concerned, or a coalition is concerned, I think Naveen Patnaik himself has said that although it would be a good thing, it's early days yet.
Yeah.
So we have to see how it would shape up. But clearly, in the absence of somebody like Mr. Vajpayee, you do have a problem that alliances can't be built, coalitions can't be built, and you have to understand that this is the era of coalitions for the foreseeable future.
So that's a very interesting point, the absence of the Vajpayee-like figure. But Sanjay Jha, while the Congress may be smiling momentarily or in this moment, the fact of the matter is that the Congress's recent experiments in Bihar when Rahul Gandhi decided to go it alone were disastrous. At this moment, there are three options before Nitish Kumar, and the Congress has been trying to court him for a while. Now, this is a very peculiar situation where your spokespeople describe the Janata Dal United to be a like-minded party, while Lalu Prasad Yadav, whom we'll be talking to later in this program, continues to provide you some sort of outside support to your government in Delhi. So isn't the Congress also guilty of extreme double-speak, and which has nothing to do with ideology?
Barkha, firstly I'm very delighted and gratified that the BJP hasn't blamed the split on a Congress conspiracy. So that's something to be very, very grateful for. The second part is that why are we witnessing this sudden dramatic political development within a week? If you look at what the JDU has said today in their political statement, they believe that the BJP has been unrelenting on its stance on Narendra Modi. In fact, after all the sadness and disappointment and the unfortunate feeling that Sushma Swaraj manifested in her tweet, the truth is that you can hear all BJP spokespeople almost antagonistic towards the JDU. It somewhere goes to prove that what you rightly asked is that what you're going to see in 2014 is going to be a very, very polarized election, because you are going to see a BJP wedded to a very hardline Hindutva agenda, also in the selection of Amit Shah in Uttar Pradesh. I think where the Congress is concerned, we are very clear that on a strategy level, the party has consistently been saying that you have to be secular in terms of your outlook and the way you practice it. Okay. And secondly, as far as the economic growth model is concerned, it has to be growth with equity.
But you haven't answered my question. This is a generalized comment, Sanjay, but you haven't answered my question, that you are quoting Nitish Kumar while taking support from Lalu Prasad Yadav. Let's park that. We'll return to it, because I want to look at Nitish Kumar's options in just a minute. But Nirmala, if I want to bring you in at this point, and I think that we aren't talking about this enough. A number of BJP leaders are saying repeatedly that this was not the reaction of the Janata Dal United after Goa. So why has this happened in the last week? And I keep taking it back to what has happened with LK Advani and his letter. Yes, the RSS chief was able to persuade Mr. Advani to take back his resignation. But isn't it interesting that Mr. Advani in his letter also spoke about personalities becoming bigger than the issues? And today the Janata Dal United resolution also focuses on this authoritarian cult of personality. Something almost similar there. And we are getting information, Nirmala, at this point, and maybe Rahul can come in on this. We are actually getting information that even today, Mr. Advani has called up Rajnath Singh. Mr. Advani worked hard to try and stop Nitish Kumar from walking out. He actually reached out to Prakash Singh Badal. He asked Mr. Badal to try and keep Nitish Kumar. He spoke to Sharad Yadav. And we're now getting information from our sources that Mr. Advani has actually spoken with Rajnath Singh and said, please, we have to go into these elections under a collective leadership, otherwise the NDA will get destroyed. This is coming from sources. If there are so many fault lines within the BJP, ma'am, how do you expect your allies to actually repose faith in the unity of the party under the leadership of Narendra Modi? And it is under the leadership of Narendra Modi going into election battle.
Again, Barkha, you're quite versatile in making one question
into many. Answer whichever one you want.
Many questions which go into one. But the fact is, every party makes its own decision, and every party goes through the motions of making a decision, very institutionalized in a way, the format being very institutionalized. Yeah. Lots of things which you may get from your sources may not be right, and many things which are actually institutionalized and made part of the decision making may not even be disclosed. But the fact remains, the decision about Narendra Modi in Goa is something which is very BJP. We have taken a call that we have to have a campaign chief, and we've announced it.
You don't agree with the Janata Dal United that it's a prelude really to a ceremonial, you know, everything has been done except the ceremony of naming him as the Prime Ministerial candidate.
If they are stating, and that's what we understand, if they are stating that it is a prelude to something else, it means that they are unnecessarily reading too much into every decision that BJP is making. And it's very well for, you know, the Congress and others to say, oh, now that the, you know, split has happened, they are fighting against each other, the language is very adversarial. I think it is important that we are able to talk about these sort of things openly, and we will definitely do it with a certain sense of responsibility. It's not as if we are disowning certain things which we did as JDU BJP combined government, because achievements were shown.
So what do you think motivated Nitish Kumar to take this decision?
That's exactly where.
What do you think?
That's where I want NK Singh also to speak far more, because it is no good constantly saying BJP did this, BJP did that. BJP will do things for itself. Now, if you have a you know, problem with any one person in the party, there is also a certain limit to which a party can you know, take its call. If I were a lay person, I would say, I mean, I don't even think it's my business whether Nitish Kumar is the Chief Minister or Sharad Yadav is Chief Minister. As a BJP person, I wouldn't even dare talk about that.
I will take that to NK Singh. Rahul, if you want to come in there on the fault lines within the BJP, which Nirmala is saying we've discussed it, we're dealing with it. How much of that is playing out in what we are seeing in the wider alliance? Because let's not forget also that Mr. Advani, when he quit from those party posts, did not quit as chairman of
but let me just add before Rahul says something. Since the alliance NDA is very important from the JDU point of view, it's certainly important for us. I just wonder if the JDU consulted the Shiv Sena, consulted the you know, Akali Dal. Did they take care of them, brief them, you know, give them a...
We'll ask NK that in a minute.
That's also going to reveal how far.
Fair enough, Rahul.
See, Barka, the BJP is trying to ignore a lot of facts. There is no Atal Bihari Vajpayee, the RSS is in control, Narendra Modi is not the same person, he's being projected as a virtual Prime Minister. When was the last time a campaign manager, Pramod Mahajan or Arun Jaitley, right after the announcement at a national executive, actually went out a public or a workers rally in which the party president spoke before the campaign manager? It has never happened. I have not attended a BJP meeting in the last 20 years where something like this happened.
But but opinion polls do say that he's the most popular leader. And in which case Nirmala is making the argument that it still remains an internal matter of the BJP.
BJP indicated to its workers that this campaign manager job is a prelude. And now when the JDU reacts to it, the BJP says that...
But has the JDU become an excuse for the BJP's internal politics?
Yes.
Namely the rebellion being led by the Advani faction?
It has been happening for some time now. As we talked about it earlier, right since the Advani Yatra, when Modi did not want Advani to start his Yatra from Gujarat, Mr. Advani took it to Bihar, to Jaiprakash Narayan's village. Nitish Kumar is asked to flag off a rally. You know, a new bonding emerges at that point.
So
from there on, an interesting Barkha, the news which we were talking about, we were discussing earlier, but we didn't talk, I have confirmation now that there have been several conversations between the top brass and top brass of the BJP and Nitish Kumar, while the JDU expected that there should be some kind of a dilution in the announcement on Narendra Modi and all these things. There have been also conversations at the BJP's top level. What sources have been telling you, our sources are confirming it to me also now, that somewhere Mr. Advani still wants that to save the NDA, there should be some kind of tinkering, some kind of tweaking, some kind of a collective effort as far as the leadership is concerned.
So this is the news.
That means it is still happening, and that is why you can connect it to the last 4 days.
If we can actually bring that up on our captions as well. Our sources confirming to Rahul and me that even now, before I take this back to NK, saying LK Advani has been in touch with the BJP president, and our sources saying that Advani in this phone call wants a meeting called in which there is an agreement that the party is going into battle under collective leadership, expressing a fear that otherwise NDA will be finished. NK Singh, did you take your cue, your party I mean, from Mr. Advani's letter more than you did from the Goa decision? Because after the Goa decision, I remember JDU leaders saying it's an internal matter of the BJP.
No, let me say this, two things. First, I think that, you know, it would be quite unfair to suggest that we took the cue from Mr. LK Advani's letter, even though clearly in the statement issued today, we have referred to the demise of the Vajpayee-Advani era, which believed in much greater flexibility and a politics of accommodation with a more inclusive agenda. We have referred to
but
that.
Mr. NK
But I do not think that.
Isn't that ironic? This is the same Alki Advani whose yatra was stopped, whose Ayodhya yatra was stopped by Nitish and Lalu together back in the 90s. So, you know, obviously history doesn't remain static.
But people travel a distance. Mr. Advani has also politically travelled.
And you believe Modi has not travelled that distance?
Mr. Nitish Kumar travelled by becoming a member of the cabinet of the NDA, which he had the privilege to serve in several portfolios. Let me also say this, that I do not think that it was Mr. Advani's letter, but I think that political parties, Nirmala is right, all political parties need to act in terms of what they believe is the groundswell of the opinion of its political workers, the manner and circumstances of what happened in Goa, some of which of course Rahul Srivastava has also described correctly, and I have also mentioned in my earlier comments, that our perception was that clearly as far as our workers, our political party was concerned, it had come to the conclusion that not calling a spade, masking really what was intended, that the coronation of Mr. Narendra Modi was more or less a done deal, and they were pretending that there was more time available, considering the manner in which Advani and others who had a voice of moderation were snubbed.
Okay, Nirmala, I want you to come in and then Jay and Sanjay.
Political option.
Nirmala,
quickly.
Yeah.
What was the pretending business? Nitish had very clearly given time till December, hadn't he? So we are not pretending anything there. We appointed our chairman, campaign committee. You had given the BJP.
Didn't you just find a smart way around Nitish's reservations?
No, but the time was given by Nitish or not?
What happened? What happened? You've given time till December.
Yes, but after that we have mentioned in this particular statement.
You violated the time.
The recent developments are ominous from our point of view, and what was the use of waiting when the writing was clearly available on the wall, that what was happening was clearly a mask to what was intended.
Let's look ahead.
And I think that Nirmala is walking a tightrope here because she's actually admitting that what happened is Advani's letter.
I'm not admitting anything.
She's not, but that's our theory.
No,
it is the only thing that Nitish had given a deadline. It was a done deal that Modi might be announced sometime around in June, July. The only thing which happened, which the BJP also didn't expect, was Advani's resignation.
So BJP's internal fault lines, I want to look ahead now. I want to look ahead. Jay Panda and Sanjay Jha, come in there. Jay Panda, you said in the absence of a Vajpayee, it's very difficult to see where non-Congress, non-BJP regional forces will go. So to that extent, do you believe that this is not really a churn for 2014 that is taking place? It's too early to call it a churn, that it may have a limited national impact?
I think, Barkha, I may have been misunderstood. I meant that in the absence of a Vajpayee, the BJP has clearly had difficulties in retaining its allies. But at the same time, I want to point out that so has the Congress. I mean, if you look at the UPA government's performance in recent months, it has kept losing ally after ally. And one of the reasons that state regional leaders like Naveen Patnaik, Nitish Kumar and others have a common cause is because the central's neglect, which has happened for many decades, has intensified over the recent few years. So this does not mean that a setback for the BJP is a gain for the Congress or the UPA, because at least in our case, at least in the case of the BJD, we are quite clear that we are equidistant from both the NDA as well as the UPA. Now, as far as this group coming together, as I said, there is common cause. Now, in terms of leadership, in terms of even whether this will be a coalition, it's still.
But Jay, do you have the opposite problem to the Congress and the BJP, which is that the BJP has chosen its face for 2014. The Congress hasn't declared one, but it has the face we believe in Rahul Gandhi. Do regional parties like yourselves have a problem in that there is no one leader who can be a rallying force? Whether it's Nitish, Naveen or Mamta, there is no one leader.
Actually, as far as we are... Look, first of all, since we are a regional party, we have to work from the ground up. And you keep talking about who's the most popular leader. As far as Odisha is concerned, let me remind you, this channel had itself some months ago done a survey in which 90% of Odias surveyed said they would like to see Naveen Patnaik back as leader of Odisha. So that's our starting point. The most popular leader in Odisha is none of these so-called national figures you're talking about, but it is Naveen Patnaik. Now I think similarly in Bihar and in Bengal and other states, these regional parties have to start with that basic building block as to who is the most popular person in that state. Now as far as a national coalition is concerned of a block of regional parties, I think we are putting the cart before the horse in talking about who should be a leader when there is not yet any clear-cut understanding of there being a coalition to begin with.
Okay, NK Singh, let's look ahead.
There's one argument I'd like to flag off here.
Yeah.
Every time national coalition, alliance, partnership and other things come to a peak and parties choose to be together or to go away, secularism has become a bogey to raise conveniently to say, oh yes, that party which was a secular party in that group has come out.
But whether it's a bogey or not, is there a problem right now for the BJP under Modi?
No. Barkha, the first point I want to highlight here is when you use it as a bogey, particularly parties which are equally pointed out for its communal activities. For instance, when Congress jumps in to say today, oh, the secular party has come out of the NDA alliance, what is left? I would like to point out their own Pradesh Congress chief, who's been demanding to become a deputy chief minister in Kerala, is being checkmated by the Muslim League, and they are unable to accommodate him there. Now, is that not capitulating to an alliance partner for the communal causes?
Would you accept? Okay, fair enough.
Second, there is second. DMK, when it was really angry with the Congress, even as the parliament was on, with questions expected for the ministers to come and answer the next morning, you saw, all of us observed, the three key ministers who are holding key portfolios were all in Chennai, placating DMK chief Karunanidhi. So, alliances and placating partnership
is part of the game today.
And now today to conveniently talk about one another, I think doesn't.
Okay, I'm waiting to get the Congress in, but NK Singh, what are Nitish Kumar's options now? And this is a real question for you at the moment, because either you stay it alone, you go it alone in Bihar, and you have the prospect of a Lalu Prasad Yadav in resurgence combined with Ramvilas Paswan and the Congress, or you ally nationally with the Congress, or you wait it out, see if the BJP does well and return to the fold post-poll. And a number of BJP leaders and even Akali leader Naresh Gujral said he believed that you will be back with the NDA after the election. So I want you to go through these three options and tell me which one do you see as most likely. And then we'll get the Congress to respond.
Before I directly answer your question on the options before Nitish Kumar, let me make just one comment in the light of something that Jay had said and you had also asked, that there must be something qualitatively different, that when the NDA had a government at the center under the leadership of Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee, who were his coalition partners? There was Janata Dal United, there was Biju Janata Dal, there was Mamta, there was Mayawati. Now all these four, I'm not talking of Mayawati now, three of them clearly are outside the fold of the kind of coalition that Mr. Vajpayee had run. And therefore to that extent, frankly, looking at the stability of the Indian political fabric, I think it would be quite a challenge on the part of the BJP to be able to configure the number which would be able to cross a particular mark to give a degree of stability, minus many of the important coalition partners who constituted important partners in Mr. Vajpayee's government.
But NK, the question still remains that to most people what's playing out here is an elaborate power struggle within the BJP that Narendra Modi seems to have certainly won for now, but that when Mr. ADVANI wrote that letter, that perhaps his own aspirations or the aspirations of those within the BJP loyal to him were also playing out. So when you say that people change and history changes and Mr. ADVANI of the 90s is not Mr. ADVANI of today, does that mean that if the BJP had anointed LK Advani as its prime ministerial candidate, Nitish Kumar would not have walked out? The same LK Advani who's roughly stopped in the 90s?
Of course not. Look, Barkha, I think it is on record that
what does of course not mean?
Let me just say that it is on record that in the 2009 elections, when the NDA fought together in Bihar, it was under the leadership of Mr. LK Advani. So where was the issue on are protesting against Mr. ADVANI's leadership. We had fought one election under his leadership.
Nirmala Sitharaman, is the BJP's real problem not the exit of Nitish Kumar, but what's going on within the party? And the fact is that yes, the cadres have certainly, I would say, almost pushed the party towards a decision, but the last word on whether there will be a prime ministerial candidate, who that person will be, that process may have, what the JDU thinks is automatic, may have actually got stalled by Mr. Advani's dissent.
No, but I'm finding it increasingly curious that what is essentially an internal matter of BJP is becoming a matter of interest for other parties and therefore for the media. And if we are talking about a democratic decision-making process within a party, there should be certain, somewhere a line. You really cannot tell me, look, I can anticipate this coming and therefore I'm going out, when actually speaking, the person for whom you're raising the objection, you had no difficulty when actually the riot happened in Gujarat, and post that, now that 10 years, Gujarat has passed through absolute peace with not even a minor incident. You suddenly think that he's objectionable, he's become, so you tell me,
why do you think? What do you think? We've lost actually the link to Sanjay Jha because of the rains in Mumbai. But do you believe that this is geared towards some sort of eventual coming closer to the Congress?
I actually want the JDU to be, I do not want, NK Singh certainly is a very senior politician, respected. He carefully watches every word that I say, and I certainly do not utter words without, thinking about it. But I certainly will now ask him.
What?
It is certainly their business to tell us what were the, we are showing you, highlighting to you the contradictions. Now if, certainly when I said there seemed to be a split personality, I have enough examples to prove that. Now if you're telling me something which is a reason valid today, which actually is no longer valid
earlier,
why wasn't it valid earlier?
Mr. NK Singh, you have to answer that.
They have to give me the answer.
I think that's a fair question.
Very frankly, you cannot really expect answers on statements torn out of context, and look at it from a retrospective point of view. I think there would be many methodological flaws in a question of that kind to be really sincerely addressed.
No, but why? The question is quite simple. NK, the question is quite simple.
No.
What are you going?
I answered.
Yeah.
Greetings by Chief Minister. Normal affair. Greetings on the re-election. Quite a normal affair. It would be part of a normal courtesy to be able to do that kind. To exaggerate that and to suggest that it means an endorsement of his political views, within my view.
He's saying, what about praise for Modi in 2003?
To do 2003 and several times after that, and not once during 2002, not once after that.
You look at the entire history of the run-up to our decision today, which we have not been comfortable with this. We were not comfortable for several years in terms of the intrusion of Mr. Narendra Modi into the affairs of Bihar politics. By the way, Barkha, it's an interesting thing that I want to say, that on a different channel, our other Modi, Mr. Sushil Kumar Modi, today has made an interesting statement that if you wish to really be accepted as a pan-India politician, you will have to, apart from the tilak, sometimes also wear the skull cap. And I was asked on a different channel what my reaction to that statement of Mr. Sushil Kumar Modi today was, and I said that, very frankly speaking, it is an endorsement of what Mr. Nitish Kumar has been saying, that the governance of a complex country like India would require symbolic gestures which have more than symbolic value.
Nirmala, you must come in there and then we have to take final comments. The fact is that this is your own Sushil Kumar Modi saying this.
No, I'm not sure when this statement was made. I'm not escaping from the look. He has not said it. As far as I know, when he said it, I will certainly answer it. But
the fact is that Mr. Modi, at the Sadbhavna, sort of mission that he organized to reinvent, many people thought himself, to present himself as someone whom minorities need not be scared of, that image stays, that somebody came on stage, a religious leader comes on stage, he offers a skull cap, Mr. Modi refuses to wear it. If cultural we don't have to be believers. I don't have to be a Christian to go into a church respectfully, for example, or a Hindu to go into to respect a temple, or a Sikh to respect a Gurdwara, and so on and so forth. It is just basic respect for other people's traditions. Why
Barka, you're coming back to a question which has been answered. I'll answer again here. But I raised a question for which answer is not forthcoming from the JDU. If he is talking about courtesies, I'm not referring to ordinary congratulations, I heard you are elected. No, I'm sorry, I'm not referring to that. I would bring sheets of paper where elaborate praise about the work that is happening in Gujarat has come from Nitish Kumar. 1. 2.
Not in the last few years.
Several years. I can give you papers. 1. Second, pertinently, between 2002 and 2004, when the NDA government came off, there was not even once that Nitish ji has raised issues which concern secularism or Narendra Modi in the cabinet meetings during Atal Bihari Vajpayee's time.
Okay, let's take this to
NK. No, wait a minute. Second. Third, there has never been a time that he, had very serious reservations about, being in the railway ministry, going for meeting, even in Jalandhar in 2004, the famous picture which became notorious later on. Why was that? And finally, if we are talking about courtesies, you have objection to one of my leader, but in Bihar, where, you are an alliance partner, we've come for a meeting, you cancel the dinner? Is that courtesy?
Okay, NK Singh, I will start winding up.
I'm sorry, okay. Courtesy is not the privilege
Mr.
of you.
Mr. NK Singh.
Yes, I really do not know. I would like to see those letters before I respond to it. As I said, I have to see the context in which those letters were written, and since they are not with me right now, I'm not in a position to give a detailed response. But I will certainly say this, that for several years now, our grave discomfort with Mr. Narendra Modi has not been a dark secret. For several years, the JDU has been uneasy. For several years, we have managed to stave off what we felt was the influence of Mr. Narendra Modi in the ability of Mr. Nitish Kumar to pursue a development-centric politics in Bihar, which was inclusive and which we have recognized today has been good for the people of Bihar.
All right, the HR committee report.
Okay, this requires a different.
Above all,
this requires a different.
Ultimately, so it's not ideology. It's not anything else to do with policy. It's my personal dislike for an individual, which is really sad.
Or a political decision.
No,
or a political decision.
10 years. 10 years.
Political decision.
No, Barka. 10 years of Gujarat. 10 years of Bihar, we are proud of the achievement of both the governments.
Okay,
but when there was no communal right at all, and when Muslims have developed equally in Gujarat, you do not want to see anything.
Okay, I've got 2 minutes left. I've got 2 minutes left. The reins have snapped our link to Sanjay Jha, so I'll give him a quick last word. He's back for that. Sanjay Jha, is the Congress courting Nitish Kumar?
Barkha, let me tell you, I think Mr. Rahul Gandhi said so yesterday that these decisions have to be very well considered, well thought through. But one thing is very, very clear, Barkha, that it's not just about one political personality that Nirmala is talking about. Everybody knows that Nagpur is actually running the BJP much more closely than ever before. And that, I think, is a very, very alarming development, not just for JDU, but for all political parties. But as far as the Congress is concerned, I think we are very clear that we might see a lot of secular, genuinely secular-minded parties that treat it not just as an electoral adjustment, but as an ideology. Because I've been hearing a lot of political personalities talking about
one line.
I just want to ask
I've been hearing a lot of
NK Singh is the Congress an option.
Pardon? I think right now our most important option is to secure a vote of confidence in the 19th.
After that,
we will come to that when we come to that.
After
that we have, I mean, the most, as far as we are concerned, we would like to go into the election on a standalone basis, which is, we are confident enough that the work of Nitish Kumar is credible enough to be able to gather the support.
Okay, I'm going to give the last word to Jay, but then we'll have one sentence.
Yeah, one line here. Congress should remember that it is not Congress actually the Indian National Congress. It is Indira Congress which broke the entire senior leadership.
Both parties today defined by cult of personality. Both parties today defined by cult of personality.
No, but the point is, it is in Indira Congress which is today talking about the Indian National Congress. I'm sorry, where are the seniors of the Congress?
Rahul one headline in a newspaper, I think Indian Express said BJPM, like Congress I. I remember the edit. I'm just quoting from the paper.
You see, I think both of them have political reasons to stay with each other. Both of them have decided to leave each other, and they are right now making a breakup sound like a 7-letter dirty word.
Okay, let's take it to Jay Panda. Jay, where does this take the unraveling of established equations as we move into 2014? We're clearly in election season now.
Well, the unraveling is happening to both the major coalitions, both the NDA and the UPA. Now, I can only speak for ourselves. For the BJD has done far better from the Odisha's electorate after taking an independent path which is equidistant from both Congress and BJP. And so, you know, since this is what the people of Odisha are rewarding, that's the line we will pursue. But clearly we are in for some interesting times in the coming months.
NK Singh, I come back to it. You definitely avoided this very peculiar situation where the Congress is describing you as like-minded while being
secular,
like-minded and secular, but where Lalu Prasad Yadav is still counting on their support, he's still giving them their support. Is the Congress an option?
Pardon? Hypothetically,
yes,
there are many options, but I think that the credible option as far as the near term we are concerned is to go to the elections on our own strength.
And if that were to not work well for you, could you return to the BJP after the elections, if the result went in their favor?
Well, I do not want to be an astrologer to go into hypothetical scenarios, but right now our scenario is clear that we believe that the work which we have done is credible enough for us to be able to do reasonably well in the elections.
I think the one thing that is for sure is that there is no such thing as never, and it really would take an astrologer to predict what's going to happen next. Despite all the opinion polls and the pundits, I think almost none of us know. It's going to be a really exciting election. That's all that we can agree on. NK Singh, Jay Panda, Nirmala Sitharaman, Sanjay Jha and Rahul, of course. Thanks so much. We are staying with our special coverage of this big political story the day that Nitish Kumar walked out of the NDA after 17 years. The fault lines within the BJP continuing to play out, sources telling us. Several conversations continuing to take place between LK Advani and the party president over how to keep the NDA intact at a time when Modi could create a surge for the BJP but also create a deep division within its allies. We leave it there. Thanks for watching from the entire team. Good night.